So here at the start, we've got the final of the women's coxless 4. Again, remember the lanes have been reallocated after the initial race, which Great Britain won. So hence they're on lane 5, but we're going to take a look across here, starting off with the Polish crew up in lane 1.
Yeah, the Poles over in lane 1, coached by Wojciech Jankowski. And a little crew change in that boat, but Anna Potraza from Gdansk. Lane 4, we're looking at Romania, and there you see Helen Glover just saying, look, push us out a bit more. The British crew who beat the Romanians in the heat. We didn't mention the French Cornu, Rosingel and Cornelis over there in lane 2, and this Dutch crew, Dahmen, Vos, Kolkman and Mulder, who are the Dutch kind of talent squad, really heading, they hope, for Los Angeles in the 2028 games.
Yes, so a very smooth start there across all the lanes. It was the experienced head of Helen Glover who was asking for that boat to be pushed out because they are racing against this Romanian crew. Got the silver medal at the World Championships last year, beat the British 4. So the British will be very keen to try and see how they're going, how their winters worked, finding themselves now on this course with that Romanian crew beside them.
There's the Dutch in the foregrounds, Ilse Kolkman in the 3-seat from the Ahir Club. This Romanian combination.
And what about that start from the Romanians? 48 strokes a minute. You can see it in the bottom left of your corner. The Romanians absolutely thrown themselves at it. They've got a canvas on the British and about half a length perhaps on the rest of the field. But I'd have thought confidence building for the British.
Yeah, well, I asked Helen Glover, you know, in our chat we had with them yesterday, were the Romanians racing when you came up against them in that sort of heat, the race for lanes? She kind of shrugged her shoulders and said, I don't know. But I guess they have gone out with the sense of purpose they didn't have in that heat. These Romanian women are doubling up in the 8. There's Rebecca Shorten, the stroke of the British 4.
Well, I'd say it's quite a good answer from Helen Glover that she doesn't know what the Romanians are doing and she doesn't need to worry about it. The British are worrying about themselves as we're taking a look here in this Dutch crew. I mean, experienced racers in here as well. World silver medalists in the quad, 2 of them in 2022, but now finding themselves in this development part of the Dutch national team. So the Netherlands did win the World Championships last year, but not these 4 athletes we're looking at.
So the Romanians have gone out fast, but they haven't got any more on the British, and the lead is less than half a deck, half a canvas, just 0.39 of a second. There you see Amalia Beresh, the younger of the 2 Beresh sisters, 2 centimetres taller than her sister Madalena, the older of the 2 at 30, who's up there in the bow seat.
And what about that graphic? You can see rate 40 versus rate 36. The Romanians have been going for it right from the start. They were really high, using that stroke rate to get the boat away from the start. Great Britain beside them have dropped into a rhythm that looks more consistent, more steady, and I can't help thinking more sustainable, particularly in these conditions.
Yeah, really interesting. That Romanian crew, they do love to rate high, don't they? Up in the bows, Madalena Beresh, Maria Lahachi in the 2-seat, and Magdalena Rusu from Suceava province. A lot of these Romanians, Greg, from the northeast of Romania, sort of near Moldova, because, you know, and we asked why are so many from that part, and the answer was, well, that's where a lot of tall women and men are found, so they get into the Romanian rowing team.
Yeah, really good physical athletes right across the field, but as you say, particularly in Romania, in that top part of the country. But the British have settled into a nice pace. The crew from the Netherlands here, I think, are doing a nice job that they've settled in here into this 3rd position. There's always a real relaxation we tend to see about the Dutch crews. This one, no different, but I think it'll be very special for them to do something against this Romanian crew in the second half. Though the Romanians went out so hard, British have had the best of the second 500.
Yeah, I think the Romanians have their eyes on the Dutch, and this is our guess from our drone shot, and what great shots we're getting from the drones. There's Helen Glover up in the bows of the British 4, the 37-year-old. In front of her, Esme Booth. She's such a tall lady. 25-year-old from Leander Club, and then Sam Redgrave rowing at 3. There's the stroke of the Romanian crew. Amalia Beresh from Pascani in the northeast of Romania. And the Dutch are creeping back on the Romanians. And I guess this is probably one of the best Dutch development crews that's here, Greg.
Yeah, it probably is with that Dutch crew, and you can see the distances in the bottom of the screen. But as we're looking at Rebecca Shorten there, backed up by Sam Redgrave. Sam Redgrave wasn't in the four last year. She was a world champion in 2022. She missed last year when the British four didn't perform so well. She's come back now alongside Esme Booth in the centre. And this British four just seemed to be working really well when we saw it 2 weeks ago in Varese. That day they beat the Netherlands, who were the world champions. This time they're beating the silver medalists. So things look like they're going well in this British four.
Yeah, and I love that shot of Rebecca Shorten, just round the back turn, so smooth and fluid with her hands. Just an easy movement. And of course she's able to do that because you got Sam Redgrave in three, really backing her up with that power. You saw the little distance of clear water between the stern of the British boat in that yellow one-packer. They're now on the left of your picture from the white Philippi shell of the Romanians, being pressed by the Dutch.
Yeah, and the Romanians, you can see them steering a little bit there as we have this head-on shot. They've bumped over to one side of the lane, the left side of the lane as we're looking at it. Now having to make a little correction. That's not going to help them. Whereas it looks like this British boat, even in this slightly cross headwind conditions, is just firing straight down the middle of the lane.
Yeah, it's a great spot, of course, and our drone enables us to see that. Greg, how good do you think this British four are? They beat the world champions in Varese. They might beat the world silver medalists here if things go well in the last part of this race. They look great. Do you think they can challenge for Olympic gold?
I'm sure they'll be challenging for Olympic gold. We see them here, Helen Glover having a look over her shoulder. She'll be looking to see whether they're coming up there to that 17:50 mark. I'm sure she'll be the one who makes the calls, and they'll want to see this gap just start to get bigger. They'll know that the Romanians have an ability to sprint. The Romanians are now at 42 strokes a minute. The British have just come up to 37. That gap isn't getting any bigger. You can see it in the screen on the bottom right. The Romanians now the fastest moving crew, and will be looking to try and come back. And they are closing that gap on the British.
Well, the Romanian women's eight, of course, these four women in it, they finished at 48 and rode through the British eight. This women's four are the top four women, and you can see the gap is lessening. But as I look to our left out the grandstand, the British do have enough to hang on, I think.
Yeah, well, the course is running out. The British are still only at 39. The Romanians up to 45, sprinting for all they're worth. But this British force still looks solid. It looks connected as we're coming down with about 100 metres to go. The Romanians are coming back. It's down to about half a length now, but I think the racecourse is going to run out on the Romanians.
So the British women's four won silver in last year's European Championship. It's gold this year for Britain with a silver for Romania. The Netherlands talent group take the bronze medal. They will be delighted to go home with that. It is the French coming in fourth place, a little further back. They've yet to finish. And the Polish crew will finish in fifth place. But that was a beautifully judged race from Great Britain.
Yeah, Great Britain seemed very confident there in those conditions with that low rate. The Romanians, we often see the Romanian crews are very racy here at the European Championships. I think a lot rides on the European Championships for the Romanian crews in terms of their funding model. So we often think they might be up for it, and this crew did look up for it. High rating compared to this British crew that we see down there. Pretty much got off the start and dropped into 36 strokes a minute, and they were very confident. If anything, I would have thought the British would have liked to see themselves just keep moving in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter rather than let the rest of the field come back.
There's the margin of victory. These four British women aren't doubling up in the women's eight. Big hand up from Esme Booth there. She crossed the line, the 25-year-old Leander Oarswoman.
Well, she spent a lot of time in the pair, Esme Booth. She's now earned that place in the four, in that Great Britain four, crossing the line first here at the European Championships. You can see it ahead of the Romanians and the Netherlands. And as you say, that's looking like a big step forward, a big positive for the British team as they look towards the Paris Olympic Games.
Please join us for the national anthem of Great Britain.